Hello YouTube. Today I am waiting for something that has been much wanted, and I'm really keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping for it that it'll work. Tomorrow the man from Exede comes out to evaluate my property to see if we can put a dish on it, and there's a 50-50 chance it's going to work. There are some trees on the south part, but if it's put over here on the north side of the lot, on the roof of the house, it may work. And I'm really keeping my fingers crossed, because this going to Valero crap and using their hotspot. Let me tell you something that happened, and this is normal what happens out here. We're in kind of a poor area out here. There's a shit ton of drug abuse going on. And the local hangout, where everybody in the town, both good and bad, comes out, mostly the bad, is the Valero fuel stop. In the mornings you get the old timers, and you know, they talk about what's going on. But in the evenings, which is when we go up there, because it's cooler outside and you don't have to run the air conditioner in the truck as much. In the evenings, every person that wants to deal or sell or buy or use drugs comes out there. Now the big thing out here, what I've seen, there are two drugs of choice. There's pot, which everybody's got. You can just walk down the street and ask a guy for a little bit of weed. Or there's meth. These are the country drugs of choice, apparently. You don't see much X use or anything like that. There's nobody out here clubs that I know of. It's pot or it's meth. There may be crack to some amount, but I don't know that that's a common drug out here. And where they do their business is to the side and in back of the Valero fuel stop. And also where all the weird monkey business goes on. And I'm not saying it to be racist. Monkey business, like funny crap. Shit that if you saw it and they thought you were looking at them, they'd shoot you, happens back there. Or they'd find you later and do it, you know. My significant other has this habit of reading manga comics over the internet. And when she gets settled in at Valero, nothing deters her from reading. She'll sit there while all this shit is going on, in the middle of all this shit, reading mangas. When any normal-minded person would back the truck out carefully and get the hell out of there before things get crazy. There have been numerous times up there, we've been out there, like 2 nights ago, 4 cop cars show up and break up a mob of people. Apparently there was some kind of weird party just over next to it. It got out of hand and everybody started fighting. But they're just some weird people that show up there at night, especially on a Friday or a Saturday. This will alleviate that problem. If this is successful, if I can get the dish, I don't have to sit in the middle of all that crap, all that horse shit. You know, people and their addictions and the problems that they make. You know, so anyway, it'll be good, and I'm really hoping that it works out. It's these guys, and if these guys, you know, don't do it, then I have to think about using HughesNet, which completely sucks, but their satellite is in a different alignment than Exede is. So I'm hoping the Exede satellite is accessible. So my mother had HughesNet, and it was a total screw from the very beginning. I mean, every which way they could pull a fast one on her, they did. But if it's what we have to have, this is the problem with the sticks. You get out here, we're just 150 yards from where the DSL ends, where the cable ends, and all high speed ends. It all ends right at this piece of crap railroad track you know, and nothing beyond it. But the only thing you can get beyond it is phone service. And who wants dial-up? I guess I could go to that. Some people say I'd be better off with dial-up than getting screwed by HughesNet, but there are certain things that you got to have high speed for. If you have large files that you need to send, dial-up is a pain in the royal ass. So, you know, just some of these things that you have to deal with when we're out in the middle of nowhere. So, that'll also keep that in mind if you decide to move to the country. Aside from checking utilities, which we did, and checking the property prices, always check to see if the internet is capable of being received there. If you do have to go with satellite, make sure you have a view of the southern sky. We have a partial view of the southern sky, and I'm hoping we have a line of sight, because if we do, then everything is great. If we don't, then things are gonna suck. But I'll know tomorrow, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We have been incommunicado. That's the other thing. Cell phones don't work worth a shit out here. Not that AT&T works anywhere worth a crap when you're on your cell phones. Constant resets, dropped calls. You know, I've come to call them AT and turd, and that's pretty much what they are. It seems they don't want to make any effort to improve their service. They're just using what exists. And they're, you know, and if it had happened with Verizon like they had said, I believe that once they sucked, was it Verizon or was it, which one was it they were going to pull in? I think it was T-Mobile. Can't remember which one, but they were going to merge when they were going to suck it in, and it was going to become part of this big AT&T monopoly, which would have sucked for everybody. And let me tell you why. In the time that I've lived here, and even before the time I've lived here, there's been no improvement in AT&T service whatsoever. Their phones and their towers and their stuff is still the same crap they were using years ago. 4G, yeah, the thing says 4G, but good luck trying to get a signal across it, you know, if you can even get more than one bar. I'm out here sometimes, if I stand outside, and this is shitty because town, I could probably fire a gun and land a bullet right in the middle of town square from here. I can get it in town, but I can't get it out here. And in town, it's crappy. Even in town, if you get more than 2 bars, you're lucky. AT&T is the most suck telephone network there is. So I'm glad that the merger was not allowed. And I'm kind of glad that they lost some of their infrastructure because they offered it up in lieu of completion of the merger. So, you know, better for the other guys, shitty for AT&T. This isn't going to matter anyway because when this contract is out, I'm going net 10, baby. Unlimited talk, text, and web, $50 a month, no contract. You can't beat that. And plus, they piggyback on Verizon's network, and Verizon works solid as a rock out here. I'd have to say, even though their tactics are shitty, Verizon actually, if you've got the money and you don't mind dealing with the trouble, Verizon is a good one to go with. But if you like me and your cash is limited, net 10, man. They'll even give you an Android phone. You know, it's like $99. You start with an Android phone. $50 more and $50 thereafter to keep the thing recharged, and you're good to go. So, future plans for when things start to change. And that way we can actually start receiving phone calls instead of getting a voicemail later on saying, "Why didn't you answer your phone?" So, we're keeping our fingers crossed. Internet first. Let's see what happens. And that'll be a godsend, because even with internet I can do VoIP, and I'll be happy with that. At least I can get Magic Jack or something that works. So, catch y'all later.